Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic turned full-time energy healer and teacher.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch running my family's crystal shop.
And we're here to explore all things woo through the lens of both science and spirituality so that you can find the moments of magic in your everyday life and create an intentional spiritual practice.
So if that's what you're into, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic. Howdy doody, friend.
Howdy doody, friend.
I can't wait to see how this podcast episode turns out. I wish that we had been recording us trying to get our act together to start recording this. I'm not liable for anything that occurs in the next 45 minutes. I got on a plane past midnight last night, so I don't want to talk about it. How are you doing, Molly?
I feel like folks at home need the context of how we came to the title of this episode.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because they're not going to be able to see it from the title. But so what happened was we wanted to do another low effort rituals episode. And originally we were going to do candle magic. But then we were like, well, that feels like something that we need to like process and think about a little bit more how we want to talk about that.
That feels high effort for me.
And so then I said, well, what if we did like low effort sleep magic? And then Madison was like, I can't even think of like an option. And all I could think about was, remember last year when we were talking about how people trance themselves into Hogwarts to have sex with Draco Malfoy?
A process some might know on the internet as shifting. And when I tell you, I watched this happen from start to finish. It was 4 seconds of Molly's life where she went, what's that thing where people try to go to Hogwarts to have sex with Draco Malfoy? And I said, shifting. And she said, low effort energy shifting rituals. And we pressed record. So if you ever think to yourself that we are professional podcasters, I want you to think back to this moment and know that there's nothing professional happening here.
That's exactly how it happened. That's exactly how it happened.
So
we're going to teach you how to shift your energy.
Yeah, we're going to shift your energy right into Hogwarts. Emotionally, spiritually, I am at Hogwarts right now. No, today we're going to talk about some low effort ways to revive your energy, shift into a better frame of mind. I'm not going to be able to say the word shift. That's like a word taken out of my vocabulary this episode. I can't say it. Molly, what was your magic moment this week?
Oh, right now. No.
Right this instant.
Okay, I had a really, really wild magic moment that happened that I was literally convinced that this person could read my mind. So if you follow me on Instagram and you watch my stories, you might know sometimes I post stories without makeup on. My eyebrows are so blonde, they are invisible on camera. They're so blonde. And because of that, fortunately, I don't have to get them waxed, tweezered, threaded, anything very often. I go like once a year and get them threaded to get the shape right. And then I can just keep it up myself. So I go to the mall. That's where I get my eyebrows threaded. It's $12. It's a great deal. They're super fast. They're super good. I know.
$12 in this economy?
I'll tell you, a couple weeks ago, I saw a TikTok video about someone tinting their eyebrows. And I've never done that. And I've always been curious. But I was like, I don't know. So as I'm getting my eyebrows threaded, I just had this thought pop into my head. I was like, I wonder if they do eyebrow tinting. And because I'm socially awkward, I was like, I'm not going to ask her now. She's almost done. I'll ask her for next time. So she finishes threading my eyebrows. And then she says, have you ever considered eyebrow tinting? And I was like, only right the hell now.
Funny you mention it. You got time?
Yeah. So she tinted my eyebrows. It was $25 for the eyebrow tint and thread. I know.
Where are you going?
The mall, dude. The mall. Main mall. It's this great little place. It used to be $10 for threading, so inflation hit them for the $2 upcharge. But they look amazing. I don't have anything on my brows right now except for
I can confirm
gel.
They look so good. You sent me a picture right when you finished. They look really good.
They look so good. This is life-changing for me. Like, I am someone that part of my skincare routine is to draw my eyebrows on. That's how light they are because I just think I look weird without them. Now, I don't have to do that. I can just roll out of bed. It's truly life-changing.
And now you can like keep it up with Just for Men.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm going to do this all the time now. This is my life.
That's what I do. I tint them with the Just for Men,
You do?
the beard dye. When I like think of it, it's not very often.
Your eyebrows look so natural, though.
Thank you. I haven't done it in quite a minute, but it's because I don't do anything to them. I just let them overgrow and then I panic.
It's life-changing. It truly, I honestly, I felt like that was the fastest manifestation that has ever come true.
They look really good. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. I feel like a true, like, I feel so youthful because, you know, I've been using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade since like 2016.
Oh yeah, and the kids are all making fun of that now.
I know. Every once in a while I'll get a comment on my videos that's like, I could never listen to someone with eyebrows like you.
No way. Oh my God.
And I'm just like, yeah, well, for everyone who says mean things about my comments, there's like 6 people at the grocery store that compliment them. So, whatever. But now I feel like I can fit in with the youth on TikTok again.
Of all the things to get hate comments on, I did not know that you got them about your eyebrows.
Yeah. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I get hate comments on. That and like people, like it's either a comment about my eyebrows or it's, they seriously let people like this vote because it's like some sort of like anti-crystal douchebag with like a fish in his profile picture.
I love the idea that when you go get your voter registration card, they're like, what do you think about crystals?
Anyways, what was your magic moment?
I had a lot of magic moments this week, but one really does take the cake. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And I'm sorry to my friends who I haven't seen in months, who I got to see this weekend. I'm sorry to all the small magic moments that happened at the airport. I'm even sorry to my Princess parking spot that I got in the long-term parking of the Tampa International Airport.
Damn.
This week, I got my hands on a pack of Monarch menthol lights. And if this is your first episode of Demystify Magic, you're like, what the fuck is going on? So a little bit of context is that my grandfather passed away in January, and the only thing he wanted on my altar was a cigarette. And it seems, apparently, somehow, that he must have been the only man left on planet Earth smoking these cigarettes. Because truly, it is as if the moment he passed, they ceased production and pulled these cigarettes out of all of the stores. We have to laugh or else we cry. I've turned this into a hilarious story because, you know, that's grief be like that sometimes. But he truly, like, I think the gas station next to his house only had them for him because on the day of his funeral, I asked my cousin if she would mail me a pack, and she went and could not find them. And my dad, my sweet dad, who is not witchy. My parents have been divorced since I was like very young, and I don't think my dad even ever knew my mom as like very spiritual person. And so he's like very much loves and respects and appreciates what the store is and what I do and what we do. Listens to the podcast even sometimes. Hi, Dad, if you're listening. I asked him if he could find me a pack of cigarettes. I don't smoke, but I was just like, can you find these cigarettes? I promise it's for a good reason. And he went to the gas station and I interrogated the man who owns it and was like, where can I get these? And he sent him like on a wild goose chase, and he got a pack of them for me, and he brought them down to Florida this week. And it was the best. He brought me those cigarettes, and he also brought me candy cigarettes that I used to have when I was a kid. Did you have candy cigarettes?
I'm familiar with them, but they were not like a big draw for me. I was more into regular cigarettes when I was a kid, to be honest.
I was obsessed with them. And so he brought me a bunch of those. So it's like 6 packs of candy cigarettes and then 1 pack of real cigarettes, like in a bag that my dad is handing me, and some chocolate covered peanuts. So that was my magic moment this week. It was so good. But more than that, honestly, I posted about it on our Instagram, and the flooding of messages that we got. I don't know that there has ever been a group of people ever so excited about nicotine. I cried reading these messages. So kind, so sweet. I was like losing my marbles. And I just love to think that like my grandpa is, you know, sitting smoking his Monarch Menthol Light 100, watching all of these people from all over the world genuinely be invested in him and his wants and his and the things that he would like to have. I don't know. It was just very heartwarming and it just made me so happy. And they're sitting on my altar right now.
Yay. What a fun full circle moment.
Right? A story that has been told on this podcast. A tale as old as time, truly.
Truly.
I actually, the day my dad was bringing them, like we were getting breakfast, I got a message in the morning and I'm going to find the message so I can give you a shout out because this was so sweet. I got a message from Amber, who lives in North Carolina, offering to find the cigarettes. Like she messaged me. She was like, I don't know if this is weird, but what store did your grandpa get the cigarettes from? Like I can go and try to ask and see if I can find these cigarettes and mail them to you.
It's so tender.
The nicest message I've ever received in my life. So Amber, thank you. I love you. Not weird at all. I messaged you back obviously and told you it wasn't weird, but top 10 moments of my life. Hundo P. Okay.
Hundo P.
All right.
Before we dive in, Madison and I both have exciting announcements. We want to make sure that you don't miss it. My announcement is I know so many of you are on the wait list waiting to join Reiki 1, The Science of Self-Healing, which is my 5-week online Reiki training program that will teach you everything you need to know to use Reiki for yourself through that lens of science and spirituality. So if you have been waiting to use Reiki to manage your stress, healing, anxiety, help you sleep better, your time is coming up. Your time is coming up. And if you're not on the wait list, you need to join it right now. Not to be too dramatic, but doors will open to register the first week of February, which is less than a month away if you were listening to this when it comes out. And you want to make sure you have all those details before the doors close or before the spots fill up. There are limited spots because I do all of the attunements one-on-one in the small group sessions. So I can't do like 1,000 attunements as much as I would like to. I think that would actually kill me. So make sure you're on the wait list. We will leave the link in the show notes. If you have any questions, you can feel free to send me a DM over on Instagram. But yeah, the countdown is on. First week of February. It's happening.
Woo! Can confirm joining Molly's Reiki 1 was probably one of the best decisions I ever made. Not only because it cemented you in my life forever, but because it's something I use every day and has really changed my life for the better. My fun, exciting announcement is that you can shop Spellcrafter, our new store, our brand new line of spell candles, next week, January 16th. At the time of recording, I am still on time to launch January 16th. So if you hear a really awkward superimposing of a different date as I speak right now, just know that
don't manifest that for yourself.
There's been a slight change of plans. No, I'm really giving myself space I want this to be perfect. I know if you have these candles, I want you to be able to feel how much love and intention and like real spell power is in them. They are going to change your fucking life. Not to be dramatic. It's the best, most wonderful, most exciting thing I've ever worked on. And you can shop it next week, January 16th. And shopspellcrafter.com. Shop Spellcrafter on Instagram. Follow us. There's not a lot to see, but there is. There's a lot coming. And I can't wait to share it with you.
Yeah. And next week, you'll be going over the full line for us. Oh
yes. We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Me too. Me too. All right. We have a list that we are going to rapid fire through. But first of all, we wanted to give you some pointers on how to know if you need to shift your energy.
The first step is, have you been thinking about Draco Malfoy a lot?
No, but for real, it's like, you know the feeling. You just maybe have never referred to it as that. But it's when you're feeling kind of blah, when you feel tired. Those of you who have ADHD like us, when you're in kind of like that paralysis mode where you can't like stop scrolling, but you want to do the thing that's on your list. If you're not sleeping well, if you're feeling really tired, you're feeling really like just blah is the technical term I've come up with.
Yeah, I've actually read that in the dictionary, so look it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the first one on our list is not going to be surprising to you if you've been listening to this podcast. It is Reiki. It is. I know. I just plugged the training, so I won't hype it up too much. But Reiki is one of those tools that the reason why I love it, and we have a whole podcast episode about this. If you scroll back, I think it's like our second or third episode about the science of how Reiki works. But the reason Reiki is so effective at shifting your energy is because it physically helps shift you out of the stress response in your nervous system into the relaxation response. And your nervous system controls everything that happens in your body. So from your digestion to your immune system to your heart rate to your breath rate to your how much saliva is in your mouth to your ability to access creativity to your ability to empathize to logical reasoning, like everything is affected by your nervous system. So when you're in that stress response, it's like everything slows down. Your digestion slows down, your ability to think rationally, logically, empathetically slows down. You get into kind of like tunnel vision and that fight, flight, or freeze response. And at the same time, I guess not everything slows down because your heartbeat speeds up, but you build more tension in your body. Your pain receptors are affected. You can have more inflammation in the body, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so sometimes when we're in that blah mode, it's just our nervous system is not in a state of balance. We're not in that relaxation response. And so bringing in a tool like Reiki can actually help you shift out of that stress response into the relaxation response, which then allows all of those resources that went towards keeping you alive now can go back to finding equilibrium and balance in your body. So it starts to allow your digestion to work better, your immune system to work better, your breath slows down, your heartbeat slows down, you're able to access the more creative, empathetic, connecting kind of parts of your brain.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing about Reiki is the way that it's like, in the same way that it's the first thing on our list when we have something to talk about when we're giving examples and ideas, that really is how it is in my toolkit as well.
Yeah.
It's like a first line of defense of like, how, can I clear the yuck? Will this help me, slop off the nastiness that I'm experiencing?
Yeah, same. And it's like, it's cool because it's one of those things that it helps you find balance with whatever you need. So like if I can't fall asleep, I can use Reiki to help me relax and fall asleep. But if I'm exhausted, I can also use Reiki to help me find a little bit more energy.
Yeah, it is really cool to have something that is so versatile of like, I don't even always have to know what I need. Reiki almost like brings that clarity as well.
Yeah. And I will say too, like, it's really important if you're thinking about going through a Reiki training. I'm not going to try and sell you on mine because like you already know I'm awesome, but it's really important to go through a training with a teacher that you resonate with and is going to teach you in the way that resonates with you. So I have a lot of students that have gone through Reiki training with other teachers and then come to my training because they never applied what they learned. And it's because they were only taught how to do like a big, elaborate ritual version of Reiki. Like you needed a half an hour, 90 minutes, whatever, to get the results of Reiki. And that's just not true. I teach my students, I'll teach you the big elaborate hoopla ritual, but I also teach you how to do it in 2 minutes or less because that's how you actually build consistency. And that's when you feel like your energy is really low, you need a quick pick me up. You're not going to sit down for an hour Reiki session. You're going to do 2 minutes of Reiki and it's going to be just as effective, actually more effective because you're using it more often.
Yeah. So next on our list is another thing that's really helpful for me. If you experience this, I don't know if this is unique or if this is something that just everyone has and puts words to differently, but when I know that I need an energy refresh or if I need to shift my energy, I can't say it. It's this feeling of like excess. There is excess energy around me. The only way that I can think of, I'm not nearly as good with my analogies as you are, but in a cartoon when somebody hits their head and there's like all the like the little lines that are like the implication of movement around them. Yeah. That is how it feels. And there will be times when I'll just be like sitting in my bed or sitting on my couch like, and it feels almost like I'm vibrating with this excess.
Yeah, you're like antsy.
And this is when movement is most helpful for me as an energy shifter. It's like the only way, it really is like the only way out is through. Yeah. And so for me, this is oftentimes like going to the gym and just walking on the treadmill for 15 minutes. Or it can be like, I like to lift weights. Lifting weights can help me with that. Going for a run outside, going for a walk outside, a yoga class, really like any form of structured movement or really even unstructured movement, any form of like, I am going to leave my house and like my body is focused on something else that gives my brain space to clear. Yeah. And it is almost like expending energy takes the excess with it.
Totally. Yeah, it does. The best advice I ever got about this was from one of my yoga teachers, Jackie, if you're listening. Love you. And that is to make yourself a playlist called Turn Your Ship Around and put on it all of the songs that make you feel like you're dispelling that energy. So it could be songs that you sing in the shower, you sing in the car, you want to dance to, you want to wiggle to, that just make you feel really uplifted. Put those all on a playlist. And then when you need to shift your energy, just put that playlist on. For me, the first song is always Aaron's Party, Come Get It. If you've been here for a while, you know this. But I cannot get through that song without dancing around in my kitchen. It totally changes it.
I actually have the equal opposite advice.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
So I am a person who really struggles to listen to uplifting music when I'm in the yuck.
Okay.
And so if that it almost feels like I feel like a tryhard. And I think like for me, emotion is very much tied to this feeling of I need to refresh, I need to reset.
Yeah.
And so that it often shows up as like anger or frustration or sadness. And so for me, I have to like full send lean into it. I like put on my middle school emo kid playlist and I just like revel in the angst.
Okay, to be fair, most of the songs on my Turn Your Ship Around playlist are emo angst music.
Okay.
We're actually saying the same thing.
Perfect. I'm like, I have to fully embrace this version of myself and like let her have her moment.
Yeah. It's like Aaron's Party, Come Get It, and then Ohio is for Lovers by Hawthorne Heights.
Okay.
Like that's how it goes.
Okay. We set the tone high with Aaron Carter. Yeah. And then we let it meet us where we are.
Yeah. To be fair, Aaron's Party makes me real sad now that he's gone. May he rest in peace. It does. There is like a lot of grief tied up in that song and a lot of joy.
Yeah.
So along the lines of movement, this may or may not be in nature, but in general, getting outside in some way, shape, or form, or connecting with nature in some way, shape, or form is going to help shift your energy. So that could be taking a walk. That could be just looking out at nature, like staring out your window, looking at, there's actually like, I was just hearing about, there's some research that shows people who look at photos of nature, there's actually a shift in their mood. And so you could just like look at pictures of nature, or if you have elements of nature nearby, right? Like you could hold a crystal, you could put your feet in water, you could go lay down in the dirt, like whatever you want to do. If you're by the beach, go sit on the beach, take a walk on the beach.
Yeah, the best piece of, I guess, advice, I say advice. Sometimes Molly will just tell me what I need to do. And one day you texted me and very specifically told me that I needed to go to the beach and put my feet in the water up to my ankles. And now that is my go-to. It was like the best, most cathartic moment, very unexpected. And it was kind of a similar situation where I was like, I just feel in excess right now. I feel a lot. I am having a lot of stimulation, a lot of emotion, and I'm struggling to move through it. I'm struggling to process it. And you were like, just your ankles need help.
I think that was when I was doing your full body energy reading. And I was
it was before that.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. It was before you were doing those even.
Oh, was that when I was doing Reiki on you?
I think so. Yeah, it was during the store's anniversary weekend.
Yeah, that's when I was sending you Reiki.
Yeah, you were like, how can I support? Like, I want to be there, but I can't. So what can I do? And I was like, can I just have Reiki?
Yeah.
And it was at the end of the weekend. You were like, go put your ankles in the water. God damn it. And I did. And now it's truly the best feeling. So finding an element that, an element that you feel connected to or, is accessible to you.
Yeah.
For me, growing up by the water means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Connecting with that is so, so helpful and really is like an immediate, I feel a switch flip.
For sure.
I feel both. The one on our list that I know is most important to me, but I'm also most resistant to, is cleansing both physically and spiritually. Mostly the physical cleansing is where I feel resistance, but I always know that I feel so much better when my space is clean. If you have ADHD, you get it. Knowing that something will help and being fully unwilling and unable to do it is real. And that for me is cleaning. And so it is on this list. I added cleaning actually after, like, as we were talking. So I was like, I know I need to talk about this because maybe it will inspire me.
Yeah. And we do have a full episode on low effort cleansing rituals, and a lot of those are physical cleaning too. So if you know that that's the one you need,
yeah,
you can definitely visit that one for lots of good tidbits and tips there.
Yeah, that is a great episode if you feel like you need some removal of that excess energy before you can shift.
Yeah.
I was so close. My truth is I want to do a whole episode about shifting. I want to find, okay, if you have successfully shifted and gone to another reality, will you please DM us? I want to have you on the podcast. This is me being so serious. Molly, I'm hijacking this podcast. I want to talk about it so bad. I have so many questions.
You've literally been talking about it for the last year.
At least.
Like since we started recording this podcast, you have been talking about it.
I have been thinking about it since we've been friends, just so you know. Anyways.
Okay. All right. Challenge accepted. If you've shifted, send us a little DM.
This is an open invitation.
Particularly if you have shifted to Hogwarts.
And specifically if it's because you have a crush on Draco Malfoy. These are my terms.
All right. Our next one is going to be no stranger to regular listeners of the pod, but a good way to shift your energy quickly is with a little treat magic.
Yes.
Yes. If you're new here, little treat magic is just as it sounds. It's sometimes the most magical ritual is to just get yourself a little treat. Just give yourself the thing that you want, right? Madison and I are big fans of little drink spells.
Mm-hmm. Little drink spells.
We just made that term up.
Yep. Little treat magic. LTM. LDS. The new LDS in town.
So that could be getting a tea that you stir a sigil of relaxation into. That could be coffee with some cinnamon for abundance. You know me. I'm big into the pep mocha. Peppermint mocha is my jam. And you're listening to this now in January, which means I have officially stockpiled at least 10 things of peppermint mocha oat milk creamer in my fridge.
Molly is doomsday prepping, but it is only peppermint mocha creamer.
It really is. My husband is like, what the hell? Like our entire fridge is just peppermint mocha.
Molly is hiding the mini fridge full of peppermint mocha from her family.
But seriously though, giving yourself a little treat, it doesn't have to be anything big. It could be like a little treat you already own. Like sometimes, I don't know if you do this, Madison, but I have a favorite pair of leggings and I will avoid wearing them because I want to wear them on a day that feels worthy of wearing them because then I know I won't be able to wear them until I wash them again.
Yeah.
Wear the leggings.
Wear the leggings.
Wear the leggings.
Wear your favorite t-shirt.
Favorite t-shirt. Yeah.
Wear your comfiest pair of socks.
Yeah.
Take the long way to work so you can finish listening to your song on the radio, whatever it is. You know, the thing that brings just a little bit of extra added joy.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a deeper layer to that of like giving yourself permission to have something.
Yeah.
It really is, in my experience, a tiny, you are worthy.
Yeah.
You are allowed to want things and you are allowed to have them.
Yeah. I also think like there's so many layers to little treat magic. Maybe we need to do like a whole episode about it again.
I would love that, honestly.
But it's like, I think so often the reason we get into kind of an energetic funk is because we're so forward thinking. Mm-hmm. So we're anxious about the future or feeling like we don't have enough time, feeling like that scarcity energy. And that can create that kind of blah feeling. But little treat magic is all about enjoying this little treat in this little moment. It's like, I think I like my dogs. When I give my dogs a treat, it's like I am the queen. Like they are never happier than when they hear the creak of the cabinet open and they hear the little jar open and they're just sitting there like it is the greatest thing I have ever done for them. You bring that same energy to you.
Mm-hmm. Be your own queen.
Yes. Hashtag little treat magic. Tag us.
Yes, we love to see people have shared with us their little treat magics, and it's like it's such a joy. It's such a treat. It's my little treat for me.
It's a little treat for me too.
So you know what? If you are struggling with the idea that you deserve a little treat, don't do it for you. Do it for us.
Yeah, do it for us. Do it for us.
Do it and send a picture, and then you can trick yourself into thinking that it's a productive thing to do. If
Boom.
That's what your brain needs to like get you there,
We'll help.
will help. All right. Next on our list also won't be a surprise. We did a whole series on them, but working with crystals.
Yep.
My first line of defense when it comes to crystal magic is bring me a piece of selenite.
Yes.
I will hold a piece of selenite if I'm like, I just need to get rid of, again, that excess feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Selenite for me is like an instant, like a whoosh.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a practice that I use every time I wake up and I feel blah. Like, if, you know that feeling when you wake up like hungover, even if you didn't drink the night before? Like you just slept like shit?
Yeah.
Like right now for you probably.
Yeah, like right now.
Hold a piece of selenite in one hand and a clear quartz in the other hand and just sit and focus on the feeling of them in your hands. Invite their energy to come in. It works within like 5 minutes. It just completely will just whoosh. It's like clears everything out and totally lifts you.
Mm-hmm. I also love blue calcite for this.
Ooh.
I have a blue calcite sphere that is, I thought of it truly because it's sitting on my desk right now because I grab it when I need it. It's like something easy to hold. Honestly, like a sphere in general.
Yeah, spheres are very like centering.
Yeah. Something that I can hold and just close my eyes and take a few deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
That is a really helpful technique for me. And my blue calcite, this specific sphere, I'm going to show it to you right now because I don't know if I ever have. I love her.
She's beautiful.
She's so cute. She's perfectly like hand-sized. Is so tied to a meditative state for me.
Mm-hmm.
I almost think like all of my previous meditations that I've done with it are like stored in there.
Yes.
And they just come out when I hold it. And so if you have a stone that you use in a calming practice or in an energizing practice or in a protective practice, if there's anything that you feel like you need in that moment, grab that.
Yeah.
Because all of that is stored in there. There's that energy tied to it that you can call back upon.
I love that. I love that. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Wow. Look at me. My crystal practice I've used crystals way more now since we've done that series.
Yeah.
I feel like that series was for me more than anybody else.
It was. It was.
Because now I'm like, yep, I've got my crystal in my pocket. I've like, I have relationships with them. I'm like, yes, that's a person in there. Like, I'm all in.
All right. The next one is simmer pots. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know. You already know. I make one of these almost every single day.
I love a Molly Donlin simmer pot.
I know. I had to buy a specific vessel for simmer pots because I have ADHD. Okay, this is no surprise to anyone. So the pot I was using before for my simmer pots, sometimes I would wake up and it would have macaroni and cheese from the night before in it. And I just can't be bothered to clean it. So I bought one just for simmer pots. And by one, I mean I have two just for simmer pots. And they're glass. They're beautiful. And I make a simmer pot every morning. And it just changes the whole thing. You can follow me if you want a bunch of recipes, but you can also just throw shit in that you like the smell of and have fun with it.
Yeah, literally just make tea in a large pot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's your simmer pot.
Yep.
Choose your tea aligned with the intention, a nice chamomile tea.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a bunch of tea at the end.
I know. I simmered cinnamon and apples and a little bit of salt, and then I turn it into an abundance oatmeal after.
So smart.
Yeah, yeah. So you can have fun with it. You can get creative with it.
All right. Next on our list, Molly said is not low effort. I am begging to differ, just because I know it can be low effort.
Could be, maybe.
Which is spell jars, which we just did a whole episode on. We are such good pluggers today with our previous episodes. Look at us. But a spell jar can literally just be a container with some salt in it.
Yeah.
Something that you shake. The shaking of a spell jar, that's something that we talked about in the episode that is really helpful for me in bringing in the energy that I'm trying to create.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing. It kind of ties into the idea of movement. Even though it's a small movement, any kind of like thing associated with that shift. I'm getting so much better, and then you're laughing.
I'm sorry.
You're ruining it for me.
It's because every time you say shift, you pause and you look at me.
And it's because I am recentering. I am reviving my energy.
I was thinking when you said spell jars when we were making this list, I thought you meant make a spell jar like in the moment to revive your energy.
Oh, I see.
But I'm thinking like on the day that you have a little bit more energy, you could make that spell jar and then just shake it when you feel a little blah.
Yes, that is also what I was thinking.
Okay, love that idea. Love that idea.
Love when we're on the same page.
All right, the next one is candle magic. And this could be, again, this could be a super simple ritual of just like having a candle that you light whenever you feel blah. I have one that Madison makes. It's the creativity and inspiration one. I have the oils. I have the candle. Anytime I feel any ounce of blah, I use either the oil or the candle or sometimes both. It instantly changes. This is not a paid promotion. Madison did not know I was going to give this review right now, but literally every time I use it, I voice memo her and I say like, I feel like shit today. I'm going to go slather myself in your oil. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, bestie, I've had the most productive day of my entire life. You are a witch and I love you.
And it's so funny because I obviously love everything that I make at the Healing Edge Witch. Duh. But you have really given me an extra added layer of appreciation for the creativity and inspiration line.
It's so good. It's so good. I use it every time I film.
I put it on while we were talking just now. I see it in the background. I have it in my hands, the oil, because while we were talking, I realized I hadn't used it. And I was like, oh, I need that immediately.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So you could light a candle like that.
Yes, exactly. And it can be any candle. You can decide that any candle is your creativity and inspiration candle. It's really any kind of association that you make with this thing is going to make me feel better.
I saw someone on TikTok the other day and I love this idea. And a couple of my friends do this too, but I never thought of doing it as like a practice for myself. But they have a productivity candle where it's just a tea light and they light it when they start working. And then when it burns out, they can stop working.
That is so smart.
So good. It's so good. I love stuff like that. So like if lighting a candle gives you just that little, burst, I feel like so much of getting out of the blah is just like making one intentional step forward. Mm-hmm. And if that's lighting a candle for you, it doesn't have to be a fancy candle. It could be any candle. It's like it sets up this ritual. Like every time we sit down to record the podcast, we light our podcast candles. And it's like it just sets the tone for the recording. You know what I mean? That's what I love about candle magic. It's just...
Yeah, because it really is just making an association.
Yeah.
And allowing it to work.
Love.
And it can be so simple, but it is also fun to make it complicated every once in a while.
Yeah. Love it. Take us home with the last one.
All right. Last but definitely not least is color magic. I love color magic because it is so easy to bring into your daily routine. So if you have that morning that you wake up and you slept like shit and you feel hungover but you didn't drink the night before, making your wardrobe choices with that in mind, with the energy that you want to bring in. And it can be as easy as the color of your socks. We've talked about it before. We talked about color magic on the podcast. I very famously have a limited color wardrobe. But one thing I do have, socks of all colors for this exact reason. I love a fun, silly sock, and different ones have different meanings. Different ones I bring out for different days. I actually did this today. I will show you live on air. These are my joy socks. They have little
flowers. Are those flowers?
Yes.
Oh my God, they're
Aren't
cute.
they not so cute?
Those are adorable.
They are so cute.
They're so cute.
And they just bring a little touch of joy, a little bit of, we're going to get through. Great colors if you are feeling blah to incorporate. Yellow, red, a lot of warm tones, any sort of bright color, white if you're wanting to cleanse, black if you're wanting to protect what little bit of energy you have left maybe. Blue is really great for serenity, for calming. Green for abundance.
Love.
And any personal association that you have with a color. You know, color magic is also so fun because it is so unique and personal. If green to you feels really soothing or feels really protective or feels really energizing, just because, you know, somebody on the internet says that green is the color of abundance because it's the color of money.
Yeah.
You know, those don't have to equate if that's not how it feels to you. And so you can decide, okay, I only like to wear black. So to me, black is a really joyous color now. You know, I've decided that when I wear black, it's going to bring that energy.
You know what's interesting? As you were talking, I realized green is not the color of money all over the world.
Oh, yeah. I wonder, like, if other people, I mean, like, obviously.
Yeah. If you live in a country whose currency is not green, can you tell us, do you associate the color green with money? Or is there another color?
I even want to know, like, when you Google color magic, does green come up as the color of abundance? Or is there like a whole sector of people with an entirely different...
This is a rabbit hole we're gonna dive
totally.
down.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Hundo P.
Hundo P.
All right. Did we do it?
I think we did it.
I know. You stayed awake through the whole thing. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I actually learned how to sleep with my eyes open and talk.
Nice. Love that.
So I can't wait to listen to this later and not remember anything.
Okay. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. If you want to learn more about us, you can find all our links in the show notes.
We'd love to know what you think of today's episode, so drop us a review or give us a shout out on social media. And don't forget to let us know your magical moment of the week. Okay, love you. Bye.